I think a lot about the different influences I've had in my life. And I wasn't somebody who had a lot of people around me pushing me to go in a particular direction. Um, my mother was very much the type of person who wanted me to follow my dreams, who wanted me to do what I wanted to do in my life. Because when I was growing up, she worked 3 jobs just to put food on the table for me and my sister. And, we didn't have a luxurious lifestyle. We lived a humble lifestyle, but we lived a good lifestyle growing up. I had a good childhood. My mom, despite all the time she was working, she made sure that me and my sister always had food. She made sure that me and my sister always had our homework done, and she made sure to spend time talking to us. The first time I learned about the military and World War II was because of my mom. She would sit me down at the kitchen table and tell me stories about history and stories about my grandfather serving in the military, and she would tell me stories about why people like Hitler were such a bad thing, and um, why dictators are such bad things. Sorry, I'm filling up my vape. But I didn't have a lot of people to push me in the right direction. And when you're in a position like that, there's a lot of things that can influence you. You see your friends when you're coming out of high school, and they're saying things like, "Oh, I want to be a lawyer," or "Oh, I want to be this," or "Oh, I want to be that." And a lot of times, I think if you don't have direction, you choose things just based off of what you think other people will think is cool. Um, and I'm happy I got to serve in the military because it gave me a better perspective on the world, and it gave me a better perspective on what a meaningful job is. But I think a lot of you guys who are coming out, when you come out, you say to yourself, all right, so I'm done being a Marine, I'm done being a soldier, I'm done being an airman or a sailor, and I've got to do what people expect me to do. So I'm going to go become this, or I'm going to go become that, or I'm going to go to school, or sort of thing. And in my last video, I kind of talked about why you should not think about what you want to be, but who you want to be. And one of my big influences in kind of coming to this thinking was a book I actually read when I was a teenager, and it's called The Fountainhead by Ayn Rand. And in The Fountainhead, you see this character named Howard Rourke. And Howard Rourke starts the story as an architecture student. And he's an absolute genius at what he does, but he gets kind of berated by the faculty members at the architecture school. And the reason why he gets berated is because he's doing a style of architecture that nobody in the school wants him to do. But he loves the art of architecture so much that he won't compromise. He won't allow himself to bend to their will. And so he says, you know what? I've learned everything I need to know here, so I'm going to leave. And he gets out. And his friend, who does everything everybody tells him to do, he graduates at the top of the class. He gets out too. And then they both go out into the world. And Howard Rourke spends his time kind of suffering. His clothes have holes in them. He's living in like a one-room apartment. And his friend, he goes out there and he gets a really high-paying architecture job. And as the story goes on, Howard Rourke finds a mentor, and he starts building homes, and he starts making some money. But in one of the homes, I think it was, I can't remember who it was, but they put a ornamental fountainhead in a place that Howard didn't want it. And so at the end of the story, rather than allow his art, his work of art to go up in a distorted manner, he blows the place up with some dynamite. And one of his big lines from that story is, I've only got so many years to live on this earth. Why would I spend 1 minute of it doing something I didn't want to do? And I'm sorry, I'm not really good at recounting stories or anything like that, but if you read this book, that's the big fucking theme. Why do people spend time doing things that they don't want to do? Why do people spend time living unhappy lives when we know that our time here on this earth is so fucking limited? There is no reason why you should be bending to anybody else's will. There's no reason why you should spend any minute of your life in fucking misery. And I'm not talking about discomfort. Discomfort and misery are two different things, and you'll come to learn this. Discomfort is putting in 18 hours a day on a business that you own and love. Discomfort is going on a 20-mile hump when you're in the Marine Corps. Misery is something else. Misery is a life that has no meaning. Misery is a life that you can't get out of. And the reason why people put themselves in misery is because they think they have no control. They stay in relationships they don't want to be in. They stay in jobs they don't want to be in because they're afraid. They're afraid of either being alone. They're afraid that they're not going to have money. They're afraid that if they take a risk, they're going to fail. But the thing is, we all live here and we all die. Yeah, there's rich, there's poor, but every single one of us is at some point going to end their time on this earth. Knowing that we're all going to die, you got to understand there is no real risk there. The worst thing that can happen is you fail and learn some lessons. But even in failing, if you take the risk, you're actually living. If you do what other people want you to do, or you follow some fucking script, all you're doing is existing, right? It's like a leaf falling from a tree versus a bird flying from a tree. The leaf has no control over where it lands. The bird has a direction, and it's going to land wherever the hell it wants to. But the wind can pick up and blow the bird out of direction, but at the end of the day, the bird was flying with its free will. That's really fucking deep and philosophical, and I guess I'm getting too complicated here. But what I'm telling you is this: don't live a life you don't want to live, right? And don't give up on yourself because you don't think you have any options. You always have options. You always have the option to live a better life. It's just a matter of how much you want to work for it, how much you want to risk in order to live the best life possible. And that means investing in yourself. That means reading books. I've been working since 3:30 a.m. this morning. I've read through 2 different marketing books. I've created a marketing campaign. I've written a blog, and now I'm shooting this video. And right after I shoot this video, I'm going to get some PT in, and then I got to make dinner for my girlfriend because she's at work and she's a nurse, and then we're going to go out on a date. It's a long fucking day, but I'm getting the most out of it. And this is becoming a long fucking video. But seriously, guys, I love you all, and I tell you all of this out of love. Everything I do here on this channel is out of love. Every piece of content I create is out of love. And I know a lot of you have been emailing me, and thank you for that. It means more to me than anything in the world that I'm getting through to some of you. So, talk to you guys later. Peace.